I want to share my screen. All righty then. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in the world today. I'm Tia Rogers, and I want to welcome you to From the Tomb to the Womb. Your life is serious business, and only you can live it. Start now. So, when we last ended, I kind of left some information out for you, so I'm going to go back over the information. I made some corrections for you because I don't want to give you the wrong information. And we're going to finish out this presentation on welcome to tammysmarket.com, ladies and gentlemen, which is the podcast is a branch of tammysmarket.com. And we believe in action, bridging the gap, and getting results. So again, our story is a woman who decided that it will be her that will make the difference in her life. Tia Rogers, a mother of two, a grandmother of six, has over 25 years experience working in the field of human services in the areas of geriatric care, child care, maternal child health, mental and dual diagnosis, inpatient and outpatient residential services, corrections as a substance abuse counselor, child welfare, and serves as a certified life guide, and now home-based network marketing professional. Tia is now utilizing her skills to help others to build a sustainable family and business entity through self-mastery and mindset business building services. Tia is an uprising entrepreneur, author, public figure, and speaker who decided to bet on herself to create the life she wanted to live, and now she shares her knowledge and skills with others. So Tammys, who are we and what do we stand for? Tammys is defined by truthfulness, action, movement, motivation, integrity, sincerity, and evolution. And we're thankful and grateful for everyday life that we get to live, and we hope you are too. Research shows that the global personal development market size was valued at $41.81 billion in 2021. It is anticipated to expand and compound annual growth to $67.2 billion forecast revenue for 2030. Personal evolution is personal growth implies changing things about yourself, whereas personal evolution implies radically accepting who you are and allowing changes to manifest in your life. Our unique strengths. The daughter of Lemuel and Christine Rogers, she learned early in life that there are no guarantees. However, as individuals, we have the power to create the life we desire when we take control of ourselves and our lives. As each day, we have a choice to decide to become a winner or just ride the roller coaster of life. It was the roller coaster of life where Tia really learned that whatever she really wanted for herself, she was going to have to go get up, get out, and go get something to achieve it. Life's most valuable lessons taught Tia just how resilient, courageous, and determined she can be when she thought she had no other options. It was through real life challenges that she began her journey towards becoming better in every area of her life. Tia developed her knowledge and skills in the psychology of investing in herself, life business, life business. She learned financial and investment strategies to position herself and her family towards a more vital, congruent, inspiring life and lifestyle. Now, our lives are truly an amazing blessing, a gift from our Creator. The life we live is not amazing, it's math. And we are the instructor of our life situations and circumstances. Our unique life attributes are the power of thought, the power of thought in our environment, the power of thought, faith, and community, the power of thoughts, silence the noise, get clear, and the power of thought and investing in self. So that's mental, social, spiritual, emotional, and physical. See now, our mind is a fulfilling organ. So that big brain, that big muscle up in our skull, it's a great big organ. And it holds our highest value mental intelligence, which is the spontaneous inspiration to do something you enjoy doing. It also holds the lower value mental intelligence, the lack of spontaneous inspiration to do something you don't enjoy doing, and it requires more motivation or prompting to do it. Now, teleology is the study of ends or purpose of something by looking at its results. The teleology is how our brain functions, right? This is what tells us we're either in fight or flight, right? So the telesynaphin is the largest portion of the brain, of the portion of the central nervous system, and consists of the cerebral cortex, subcortical white matter. It controls almost all voluntary movements in the body. So, and it has some select biases. The glia cells are cells in the central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. It's a gluey material. It's a gluey materials and structures that holds everything all together up in the brain, right? And visualization is a data gathering, processing, preparation, reduction, and visual layout design. Exploration, analysis, and synthesis, and presentation. So our visions, what we can imagine in our minds, we can either create heaven or hell in our minds, pretty much, right? So we kind of discovered that. You can create the most awesomest life that you want to live, or you can create the worst life that you want to live. It's all up to you. You are in control of your thoughts. So we're going to get in a little bit more into it, and we're going to look at social growth, because we all are human beings and we all are social in some form or fashion, whether in our families, in our communities, through organizations. We socialize with one another, and social growth is good for the soul. It increases positive social experiences. It increases your social circles. It elevates your self-confidence and elevates your self-esteem. Now, learning more and leaning into God. You will hear me always say that you should have that personal relationship with God, because it's a personal relationship between you and him. You could take anything to him and it won't come back to nobody. It's between you and him. It's a secret. Not so much as a secret, but he holds it and he hears you. You can take all your burdens and your worries to him, and he will guide you. You just have to sit still enough to listen, to know what is the next move that you need to make for your life that's better. So learn more and lean into God simply means enhancing our ability to deal with life's ups and downs and bounce back from those difficult experiences. Life can be hard sometimes, and some things can really knock you to your knees, and your faith can help you hold tight. Don't slide, hold on, keep the faith. Any problems in this life is temporary. It's not that deep, it's not that serious. The steps of spiritual growth are acceptance, patience, hope, faith, humility, willingness, courage, brother and sisterly love, integrity, self-discipline, service, and honesty. Now let's take a look at the emotional growth, because once we get this down pat, we are going to drop that E and we're going to get an emotion. Okay, everybody? You know, and listen, I can speak on it because I'm a very emotional person. So this is my area that is the hardest. This is where I have to intentionally work the hardest in my life. It can be subjective. It's a subjective response to your experiences, developed through childhood interactions that help with the understanding of emotions and when to express them. See, emotional intelligence is how individuals identify and manage emotions. If you're on the podcast, you cannot see my screen, but we have a whole slew of emojis here with all the different attributes of emotions that one can share or have. But a big part of that emotional growth is your self-awareness, how individuals recognize and understand who they are, your character, your moods, your emotions, as well as how you deal with others and their character, moods, and emotions. Emotional motivation, our inner drive and commitment, readiness to act, participate in our goals and or opportunities that will continue to improve our emotional well-being. Now, this is life work, ladies and gentlemen. This is not something that you're going to do once and it's just going to be fixed. This is something that you're going to review, reassess, take out what you don't need, keep what you do, try to improve in certain areas throughout your lifespan. And I want you to think about what you want out of life development. Think about what you want out of life development, a plan for short and long-term steps towards your progress. Do you know what you want? Many of us don't really know. It takes us some time to figure it out. And it's okay, because you can ask, don't be afraid to ask for help at any time. It's perfectly okay to ask for help along your journey, because we're growing, we're evolving human beings, and you're not expected to know it all. So don't feel the pressure that you have to. So this can take some time. You review and review again. So be as realistic as you can, or simply allow your imagination to run wild, but keep your eyes on the prize of what is to come. Keep a positive mindset. Stay in motion, stay physical fitness, join a gym, take a kickboxing class. All that helps to develop and release hormones and endorphins in your body that help stimulate the brain to help you to continue to be able to manage and maintain your emotions. Now, while you're on this journey, we know that this is a life work here, and that a positive mindset is way better than a negative mindset, because you have more gratitude with a positive mindset. You find the lighter things in life. You find that the little things are really the big things. And sometimes on this journey, you may find yourself having to leave your comfort zone. You may have to leave people, places, and things, because as you're going through this transformation in your life, everyone is not on a journey with you, and everyone is not ready to really go that deep within themselves. So you may feel like an outcast while you're going through this process. And it's okay, because everyone grows at their own pace and at their own time. We don't want to force anyone to do something that they're not ready for. When you're ready, you're more receptive and open to it. And isolation is a part of that, because it's in that time that you really get to know and really can examine your emotions. Now, along with your emotions, we have to look at empathy, okay? Empathy is having the ability to understand other people's emotions. Having empathy allows others experiences to resonate with our own, to respond appropriately. Individually, we all have feelings, we have desires, and we have fears as well as triggers. And when you're listening to someone, you want to make sure that you're listening to hear and not to respond. You want to be non-judgmental in your listening. You just want to let them get out what they got to say. And you want to acknowledge what the individual is saying through reflection. You may want to repeat back what they said to you and then add your advice, assessment, input on the matter. You want to also make sure that you are approachable. You want to be approachable. You don't want to be someone that people cannot come to, especially on a journey where they are in the transformation of their lives, because there's so many phases and stages of it. And our mind plays a big part in that. And we literally have the power to change the way we think and how we look at ourselves through our minds and how we view our lives. You want to open yourself up, and you want to develop a curiosity for others. Believe it or not, no matter what part of the world we live in, no matter where you live, we are all pretty much the same. we have the same morals, values, ethics. They may differ in different areas, but for the most part, we all want the same thing, a better life. So let's look at emotional social skills. And these skills help you to handle and influence others' emotions effectively through communication, conflict management, dealing with change, meeting new people, and building new relationships. So you want to take some time and take a moment to just sit back and observe people. You can go to the mall and just sit, around and in the food court and just observe people. You'll see that people have their own little ways of doing and being, of who they are, right? And showing you who they are. But it's really good to sit back and observe, because you learn a lot. You want to be able to put yourself in someone else's shoes. Not always easy if it's something that you've never experienced before, but if you can empathize with their situation, you just may be able to put yourself in someone else's shoes to understand, to try to help them navigate through whatever that they're experiencing at that moment. You want to be intentional with your words, and you want to socialize on and offline to begin a wide network. Because there's one way of communication online, but then in-person communication is so much better, because you get to see their facial expressions. You get to see, if they're anxious, or if they use their hands to talk like me. And you want to explore the world. You want to go and explore new adventures. You want to get out of your comfort zone and, hey, go out there and explore it. It's so much out here. Like, it's so much in the world today, different places and things that you haven't seen yet, that could just blow your mind and broaden your horizons, as well as change your perspective on life. Now, this is the danger zone. This is where we want you to stay away, ladies and gentlemen, because when you're on this growth journey and you are trying to change your life for the better, you're trying to transform your life because you want to become better in whatever area it is. And on that journey, you want to stay away from drama, complaining, negativity, dwelling on the past, selfishness, peer pressure, and overly critical thinking. You don't want to just think too much. You want to think just enough to get you where you need to get to. Overthinking is the killjoy. So let's not do that. But high emotionally intelligent individuals rarely have these characteristics. And highly emotional intelligent individuals are usually they stay active. They spend time learning about themselves and the world they live in and other topics that are interest up to them, and they stay hydrated. You want to stay hydrated and keep your body in tip-top shape, because our body needs certain things, just not just to eat well, the proper foods, but we want to make sure that we're putting the right things inside our body so our body can function properly. So growing pains can hurt if not handled or dealt with properly. Excuse me. Growing up is a process journey in itself due to a wide range of situations. Emotions can take its toll on anyone and can be an overwhelming experience. By the age of 6 months, infants gain rudimentary cognitive and memory capacities as they begin to express emotions based on context. Emotions emerge dynamically as infants begin to take more direct role in emotional exchange with their caregivers. So how do you and your children interact? If you have children, if you don't have children, do you have nieces and nephews? Do you work with children? Children are like the most wonderful thing. To see the world through their eyes, it's amazing. It really takes away life stress. It really is, but they learn early the communication and how to handle their emotions and things, basically based off of the caregiver that is taking care of them, guiding them, and nurturing them through life. So we want to give them the best start, right, guys? But we have to know where we are in order to know the best way, right? If we're conducting ourselves in a proper way. So when we're looking at the emotional development stages, we're looking at acute stages, which is usually your breaking point. That's usually when something has happened and you're like, Jesus, take the wheel, take the wheel, take the wheel, take the wheel. Or it just breaks you down to where you isolate, you cannot communicate, you can't express yourself, because whatever the traumatic experience you have experienced was that detrimental to you, that now you need to go and sit down and have a talk with somebody to help you work through that process. And my advice is, from being someone that had to go sit on someone's sofa or behind a chair, the desk, however the office is set up, most offices usually have a sofa, and they do have regular chairs as well, but they usually have some place where you can feel comfortable so that you can, kind of whatever makes you feel best to sit down and tell your story. But whatever your breaking point is, and when you get to that point, the more honest you are with yourself and that person, the more effective you will find your treatment to be. Then there's going to be a period of clearing out. You're going to have to clear out all the past stuff that has either been said to you, done to you, happened to you, or experience that you have gone through. You're going to have to clear that out. You're going to have to go through it, clear it out, because it no longer serves you. That's not who you are. In your clearing out phase is where you're going to begin to identify the new you. And it's going to feel a little weird in the beginning, because you're going to have to find out what is it that you want? What is it that you really truly desire out of life at this point, now that you have released the trauma? Where do you go from here? And what are the steps? What are the steps that you're going to take to get there and stay there, right? To maintain that. That's the clearing out. That's the clearing process. And then you're going to refine your gifts. You're in your clearing out phase, you're going to find your gifts, and you're going to be able to refine them, fine-tune them, and begin to utilize them in your life to help you come and arrive to your authentic self. Your authentic self, that where you're comfortable with who you are, whose you are, and the life that you're living. And how somebody else feels about it doesn't even phase you at all, because it's not about them, it's about you. So being your authentic self is the wonderful way to go through life, because nobody can be you but you. And your God created you uniquely in his own image, and you have talents and gifts that only he gave to you. No one else has those gifts. And the world would be a less kinder place if you was to hide who you really truly are. You get so much more out of being your authentic self and just doing you, being you. People will love you for who you are. Believe it or not, they will love you. And then there's the mastery and leadership level. And the mastery and leadership level, that is where, hold on, blah, blah, blah. I'm stumbling right now. Hold on, guys. This is where you have mastered your emotions, how to handle your emotions, how to process them, and be able to deal and interact with others. Because until you master yourself, you really won't be able to master anyone else. Knowing who you are, knowing whose you are, and then stepping into your mastery leadership, that means that you're confident enough to go out here and lead by example, and to make the moves for your life that is going to better your life and improve your life and give you the quality of life that you want congruently every day. Oh, there's no need to go back to the acute side, because you now mastered you, and you know what makes you tick, and you know what makes you work, and you know what motivates you, and you know what you're going to do and what you ain't going to do. And you know that there's new horizons on the rise waiting for you, and you're on that path to do so. And others see you and they're inspired by you, and they will trust you to lead them because they see that you kind of got it all together. Well, you got it all together, right? Because you're the master you. The best, it's a life journey to master you. Ask yourself, how can I become better in my life and the world? Ask yourself, how do I develop the ability to be comfortable with myself, the people around me, and being accepting the life I am living, being true to myself internally as well as externally. Now we're going to take a look at emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is the ability to understand, use, and manage your own emotions in positive ways to relieve stress, communicate effectively, the ability to empathize with others, overcome challenges, and diffuse conflict. Your emotional intelligence helps you to sit back and observe how you feel. You're able to pay attention to how you behave. You have the ability to question your own opinions. You take responsibility for your feelings. And you celebrate the positive in you. And you're also aware of the negative in you too. You have to remember to breathe. Breath is life. And life is everything. So remember to be patient with yourself as you become the change that takes time. So now we're in self-awareness mode, because now we are zoning in on our feelings, how we're behaving, how we're communicating, and how it's impacting our life, either positive or negatively. Ourselves, what are we doing for ourselves, to ourselves, and how are we being, right? So self-awareness, the ability to focus on yourself and how your actions, thoughts, or emotions do or don't align with your internal standards, because we all have them. And in your self-awareness journey, you want to develop how to look at yourself. You want to journal to track and gauge what you feel, and you want to identify what it is that you're feeling and why you are allowing these feelings to take control of your life. You want to ask, what is the driving force behind the emotions, especially when adversity is in the mix? You want to learn what motivates you to get through the moments of emotions. Being patient with yourself is going to take you a long way. Don't be hard on yourself in this phase, because you're growing, you're learning, you're healing, and we're going to continue this journey for our whole lifetime. So slow down and allow yourself to feel the emotions, to process them. Know your triggers. Don't try to deny them or resist them. Just process them and trust yourself and trust your intuition. You're never going to steer yourself wrong, or at least I hope and pray that you don't steer yourself wrong. That's not the purpose of this exercise. Okay, along with self-awareness comes self-governing. And self-governing is taking responsibility of your own behavior, well-being, and emotional state, as well as outbursts. You want to keep your emotions in check. And you want to ask, is this working for me, or is this working against me? You want to provide some type of structure, schedule, and stick with it. You want to establish a routine to complete tasks effectively. You want to make sure that you're eating well, that you're getting the proper rest, and you want to be slow to get angered. You don't want to anger easily. You want to be able to process what's going on at that time. Learn to love learning you and trusting you. Reasons: if you don't learn and trust yourself, others won't either. And we understand that self-governing is definitely a choice. It's a personal choice. How we react and or respond to any experience, situation, or circumstance that happens in our life. Now let's take a look at physical growth, because you can't have emotional and mental growth without physical growth, because they go together. Now, physical growth is the advancements and refinements of the normal increase in the height and body. Mental growth is the increase in our thinking power and knowledge. Physical growth develops cognitive skills, memory, attention, and thinking skills. The physical development affirms or tests your self-esteem and overall achievement in life. The rate of growth is rapid and uneven, with different pace and rate change for each individual. So that means that we're going to all grow. We're all growing, learning, and healing, but we're going to grow, learn, and heal at our own pace, at our own level of understanding and growth towards our transformation. You want to increase, the growth is going to include, it's going to increase and include height, weight, internal organs are going to grow, as well as the skeletal and muscular motions, because you got to remember, from the womb to the tomb, we're going to be growing for the rest of our lives. So we want to make sure that we're growing in the right direction. Now, our lives are truly an amazing blessing, a true gift from our Creator. The life we live is not always amazing. The life we live is not amazing. It's math. And we are the instructor of our life situations and circumstances. How, you may ask? Each day we are given to wake up and live another day allows us to see how many times we can develop new skills and implement them so that they will improve our lives. How many times do we have to do something to bring about change until it becomes in alignment with who we truly are and make an impact forever? And that's in our career, play, health and wellness, relationships, spirituality, our living environment, and even planning for your own life, as well as your finances. Now I have a few questions to ask you. And this is a personal journey, so I hope you have your notebook and you're taking notes and you're working on you. Are you living the life of your dreams? Can you imagine living the life of your dreams? Do you want to know how wealth is created in your life business? Well, you're invited to join our community to learn how. And ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our session for today on From the Womb to the Tomb. Your life is serious business and only you can live it. Start now. Do the assessment. See where you are at in your life. Are you looking for improvement? Would you like to transform your life? And what does that transformation look like? What are the components in that transformation? And whichever areas that you feel that you need to transform or change. You may feel that you don't need a change, and that's fine. That's cool, and we appreciate you for listening to us. That means that you kind of have this all together, and you're already in your transformation, and you're out there trailblazing it. And kudos to you. We love you for that. You know, you're going to impact the world and truly make a difference. But for those of you that may be like me, that struggle with building your self-esteem, building your confidence, and going for your dreams. There was a time in my life when I didn't think any of this was possible. I always wanted it, except I didn't know how to obtain it. I didn't know how it would look for me. I didn't know how it fit into my life. And it wasn't until I went through some life experiences, which we're going to dwell into. We're going to go. We got time together. But it was through those life experiences that I began to look at who I really truly am, and realizing that I'm enough. I'm more than enough. I have the skills and ability and understanding to go out here and create a life that I would like to live. And I did it. Sometimes you do it knowingly or not knowingly. You know, sometimes you're on autopilot when you get on your self mode because you're so busy regulating yourself and whatnot. You're just taking the steps. And if you get into the motion, that's why I said the emotions, we're going to take off the E. That's when the E comes off, because you're going to find yourself just in motion. It's just things are just going to come to you. Doors are going to open up. People are going to see the light in you, and they're going to want some of that light on that journey. So depending upon where you are in your journey, if you want to grow, learn, and heal, and you want to begin looking at your life, how can I improve my life? What areas of my life do I need to improve? And how can I change me? Because you can only change you. You can't change nobody else, no matter how much you would like to, because when we meet people, we meet them for who they are. And once they show us who we are, we have to believe them. And I believe Maya Angelou has a quote that says that once someone shows you who they are, believe them. Once they show you who they are, you darn sure better make an evaluation real quick right then and there to find out, do I want to participate with this or do I don't? Because if you participate with something that doesn't align with you, it's going to impact your growth. It's going to impact your healing. And you want to make sure, and it's okay. You can let people go with the scissors of love. It doesn't mean that you don't love them. It doesn't mean that you don't like them. It doesn't mean that you don't care for them. It just means that they don't align with you. And if you continue to align yourself with them, that the things that you want for your life, you're going to block it. It's not going to come to you because you're tolerating things that you know you shouldn't tolerate. Not for your life, but you have to figure that out. And I want to thank you guys for joining me and allowing me to come and bring the information to you again and bring all the information. So now, next week, we can move forward and dwell into it a little bit. Let's break it down and break it down into the areas of our lives where we need. I'm going to share a little bit of me with you. And I hope that you will share some with me. So some of you with me. And I hope that this helps someone, because it's really a life journey, growing, learning, and healing. And there's some aspects of your life where your friends and family aren't going to be able to help you. You are going to have to step out of the box and get some professional help. And it's okay. Don't feel ashamed. Don't feel embarrassed, because working on you always is an investment. You are your greatest asset and you're your best investment. Bet on you every time, because you're not going to let yourself down. You're going to follow through. You're going to do what it is that you need to do, because it's going to benefit you. It's going to benefit your life. And it's your life. Only you can live it. No one can live it for you. So with that being said, I'm going to end like I always end. Remember, you were born a winner from the time you were conceived in your mother's womb. You were born with all that you need inside of you. Tap that power within. Go out here and have an awesome, amazing week, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll meet again next Tuesday to discuss more about how we are taking action, bridging the gaps in our lives, and gaining results. Have a great day. Enjoy your week, guys. Go out there and kill it. Be awesome. Bye-bye now.